Shades of Green. Part 1. The Lonely Cafe. Sophia sat alone in the corner of the quaint cafe, her slender fingers tracing patterns on the surface of her untouched coffee. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee filled the air, mingling with the soft melody playing in the background. She wore a delicate shade of green that seemed to blend seamlessly with the melancholy in her eyes. The cafe was bustling with chatter and laughter, but Sophia remained lost in her thoughts, a world away from the cheerful ambience around her. Her mind was burdened with worries, her heart heavy with sorrow that seemed to engulf her every breath. She glanced out of the window, watching as raindrops trickled down the glass, mirroring the tears that threatened to spill from her eyes. The grey skies matched her mood, casting a somber hue over the world outside. Sophia had always been a quiet soul, her thoughts a whirlwind of emotions she struggled to articulate. She often found solace in the pages of her favorite books, escaping into worlds far removed from her own reality. But today, even her beloved stories failed to offer comfort. Lost in her reverie, she didn't notice the approach of the waitress until she felt a gentle tap on her shoulder. Startled, Sophia looked up to see a kind smile on the waitress's face. "Is everything all right, dear?" the waitress asked, concern evident in her eyes. Sophia managed a weak smile, nodding in response. "Yes, thank you. Just lost in thought, I suppose." The waitress lingered for a moment longer, as if sensing Sophia's need for company, before retreating back to the counter. Alone once more, Sophia turned her attention back to her coffee, the warmth of the cup a feeble comfort against the chill in her heart. As the hours passed and daylight faded into dusk, Sophia remained seated in the corner of the cafe, a silent sentinel amidst the ebb and flow of life around her. Though she longed for the darkness to engulf her completely, she couldn't shake the faint glimmer of hope that flickered within her soul. For Sophia knew that even in the depths of despair, there was still beauty to be found in the world. And perhaps, in time, she would find the courage to embrace it once more. But for now, she sat alone in the cafe, a solitary figure cloaked in shades of green, her heart heavy with sorrow yet still beating with resilience. Part 2. Echoes of the Past. The following day found Sophia once again in the familiar confines of the cafe, her mind still weighed down by the burdens of yesterday. She sat at the same table, sipping her coffee in solitude as she watched the world pass by outside. But today, there was a subtle shift in the air, a whisper of change that stirred within Sophia's soul. As she glanced around the cafe, her gaze fell upon a familiar face, one she hadn't seen in years. It was Alex, her childhood friend, the one who had shared her laughter and her tears, the one who had been her constant companion through the trials of youth. But their paths had diverged over time, leading them down separate roads that seemed destined never to intersect again. Yet here he was, standing before her with a hesitant smile on his lips, as if unsure of his welcome. Sophia's heart skipped a beat as she rose to greet him, the memories of their shared past flooding back with a bittersweet intensity. "Alex," she breathed, the name a whispered prayer on her lips. "Sophia," he replied, his voice tinged with a hint of sadness that mirrored her own. They embraced, the years melting away in the warmth of their reunion. And as they sat down together, their conversation flowed effortlessly, as if no time had passed at all. They spoke of their dreams and their disappointments, their triumphs and their regrets. They laughed and they cried, sharing their deepest fears and their fondest memories with an honesty that only true friends could understand. And as the hours slipped away, Sophia felt a sense of peace settle over her like a comforting embrace. For in Alex's presence, she found the strength to confront the demons that had haunted her for so long, to face the pain of her past with a newfound courage. Together, they vowed to forge a new path forward, one filled with hope and possibility. And as they parted ways that evening, Sophia knew that she was not alone in her journey, that she had a friend by her side who would walk with her every step of the way. For in the echoes of the past, she found the promise of a brighter tomorrow, a tomorrow filled with the possibility of love and laughter, of joy and redemption. Part 3. Embracing Change. In the days that followed, Sophia found herself embracing the changes that had begun to take root in her life. With Alex's unwavering support, she dared to confront the demons of her past, to face her fears head-on and emerge stronger than she had ever been before. Together, they explored the city streets, discovering hidden gems and secret havens that whispered of untold stories and forgotten dreams. They laughed and they cried, their bond growing stronger with each passing day. And as Sophia immersed herself in the beauty of the world around her, she found that the shadows that had once haunted her began to fade, replaced by the vibrant hues of hope and possibility. Gone was the lonely girl who had sat in the corner of the cafe, her heart heavy with sorrow. In her place stood a woman transformed, her spirit ablaze with the fire of newfound purpose. With Alex by her side, Sophia dared to dream again, to believe in the power of love and forgiveness, of second chances and new beginnings. And as they walked hand in hand beneath the starlit sky, she knew that the future held infinite possibilities for those brave enough to seize them. For Sophia had learned that true happiness lay not in the absence of pain, but in the courage to embrace life's twists and turns with an open heart and a steadfast resolve. And so, as she watched the sun set on another day, Sophia smiled, her eyes sparkling with the promise of a tomorrow filled with endless possibilities. For she was no longer defined by the shadows of her past, but by the light that shone from within, illuminating her path with a brilliance that could never be extinguished. And as she stepped into the unknown, she knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, she would face them with courage and grace, secure in the knowledge that she was not alone. For she had found her strength in the depths of her despair, her hope in the midst of her sorrow. And in the arms of her beloved friend, she had found her home. Summary. Shades of Green follows the journey of Sophia, a young woman burdened by sorrow and loneliness, as she finds solace and strength through unexpected connections and self-discovery. Part 1 introduces Sophia sitting alone in a cafe, lost in her thoughts, wearing a green dress that mirrors her melancholy. Part 2 sees Sophia reunited with her childhood friend, Alex, sparking a transformation as they share their stories and support each other. In Part 3, Sophia embraces change and confronts her past with newfound courage, guided by Alex's friendship. Together, they find hope, love, and the promise of a brighter future, illuminating Sophia's path with the light of resilience and self-discovery.